So welcome to yoga practice. We're laying on the back in a centering meditation. If you're comfortable on the back, go ahead and lay down. Feel free to cover up with clothing or blankets so you stay warm and cozy. And when you relax on the back, you're able to settle and soften the back of the skull and all along the spine, all the way down to the edges of the heels and the toes. And we allow the soft front body, the soft collarbones and belly, relaxing the jaw, taking a quick scan through your body with your mind's eye, noticing how you feel today, any tension in the joints. And tune into the natural breath flow, the ease of the breath flowing in and out of your nose. Anytime your mind wanders off, guide the focus back to the breath. Continuously. We return to the breath, back to the moment. We're going to take the right hand on the chest, left hand below the belly button, and the hands are resting on the body. The arms are soft from the shoulder to the elbow. Deepen the breath a little more. When you inhale, you feel the expansion of the inhale in the belly. And when you exhale, you feel the belly move back toward the spine very gently. Just stay with that, elongating the breath a little bit, the expansion of the inhale, filling the belly a little more, the ribs, the chest, and exhaling, softening chest, ribs, belly. Set an intention for your practice today. What do you want to cultivate here in this practice? Let that intention help inspire the effort you put in to stay present for this practice today. And let's inhale to stretch the arms overhead and feel the length of the body from head to toe, fingers to toes, toes to fingers. Open and close your hands, point and flex your feet a few times. And then very slowly, we're going to hug one knee at a time in toward the body. Gather the knees towards you and give a little squeeze and rock side to side. Massage the lower back on the ground. And then keeping the thighs hugging towards your body, flex your feet and zip the feet together so the balls of the feet touch. The heels can be separated a little. You're going to open your arms out to a T. Flip your palms down to connect to the floor. And then squeeze the knees towards your body a little more and then bring them over to the right a couple of degrees, not all the way. And then bring them back to center and bring the knees over to the left. Just a couple degrees, keeping the palms on the earth, and then back to center. And just do that a couple times. Knees over to the right a few degrees, back to center, and over to the left. And back to center. Just waking up a little bit in the core and the back, the spine, and also in the shoulders, the biceps. As the knees move side to side, you might feel this kind of firing of the inner bicep with the palms touching on the ground. And then as the knees go over to the right, let the knees go all the way down to the right, and you can keep them there with the left palm or fingertips touching the ground. If it felt good, you may be able to extend both legs straight and catch the toes in your right hand, but don't force. Draw the left thigh away from the bottom of your chin, and you can just let the head be neutral for a breath or two. deepening the V of the hip creases toward the front of your mat. Good. And then softening the knees, bring the knees back in toward your body and recenter the pelvis. Palms are on the ground. Let the knees come up toward the body and slowly bring the knees over to the left. You can let them come over and down and rest the legs onto the floor and the feet are resting. If it feels good, extend the legs and catch the toes in your left hand. Keep drawing the right thigh away from the bottom of your chin. Softening the right shoulder blade in toward the body. Take a couple of breaths in that twist. A lot of light in the center of the throat, center of the chest, center of the ribs, center of the belly. Now, bending the knees, squeeze the knees back in toward your body, give a little hug, come into full happy baby, elbows on insides of knees, hands around the ankles or the feet, soles of feet face the sky, shoulders drop, and rock side to side, massaging the spine. Feeling the lower back sacrum be very broad. Good. And then as you come back to center, release the feet and bring the feet onto the floor. The feet are on the floor about hip width distance apart. Lay your arms down alongside the body, palms facing up. You can drag one shoulder at a time underneath your back so that you feel this nice broadness across the front of the chest. Root down through the feet, pick up the pelvis, any amount toward bridge position. The inner thighs roll in and down toward the earth, and the tip of the tail is lengthening forward toward the front of your mat. And then as you inhale, stretch the arms up and overhead, all the way up alongside the ears, palms facing up. Engage the gluteals, and keeping the arms overhead, slowly start to lower down as you exhale, the upper back, the center back, the lower back resting. And as the lower back rests naturally, take the feet very wide apart, open the arms into a cactus shape, and start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. You're gonna wring out a little bit more through the lower back. See what range of motion is there as you allow the knees to flow side to side. Good. Good, and then bring the knees back to center, hug the knees in, curl into a little ball, knees to chin, chin to knees. Inhale, fill the back ribs. Exhale, let the head fall back and stretch your right arm up alongside the ear. And we're gonna roll over onto the right hand side and rest for a second. Pausing to feel that right side rib rest into the ground. And come back to your intention for practice. And we're gonna extend the left leg out straight to help get some momentum, like you're pointing the left toes toward the front of the room. And use that pointing of the left toes to start to drag you up to sit. You're gonna cross your left ankle in front of the right. Coming up to sit in a Sukhasana, you can sit on the ground or the support of a blanket or a prop. And we're gonna bring the hands to heart center with the thumbs connecting to the center of the chest. Closing your eyes, tune into your intention. And we're gonna honor each other, this practice, and all of our intentions with the collective chant of Om on the exhale. Om. Tailbone dropping down, open your eyes. As you inhale, stretch the arms up. Take a real length up through the fingers. We're gonna interlace the fingers, push the palms up toward the sky, sway a little bit side to side, opening up the side waists. Your nose is right over the belly button. And each sitting bone just kind of shifts a little bit as you sway side to side. As you come back to center, press the palms up and inhale, look up. And then exhale, press the palms away from your heart. Draw the belly in, squeeze the knees in, release the interlace of your hands, palms face up, uncross, flex your feet, balance for a moment. Good. Let the shoulders relax, lift the center of your chest. Inhale, look up, lift your heels. Exhale, cross either shin on top and pull through into a tabletop position and make your way onto all fours. If your knees are tender, You can always put a blanket under your knees to pad your knees. And I like to get blocks ready at the front of the mat in case you need them at some point in this practice. So we're gonna walk the knees back a little bit. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Look down, spread the fingers. The first fingers are parallel with each other, and we're really gonna press through the first finger and the thumb, keeping the elbows a little soft. Let's do a little opening of the elbows away from each other, pointing them toward the outside of your mat, and let your heart sink a little bit. Yeah. And then pressing through the first finger, start to straighten the arms very slowly. Trying to bring your focus into like the bicep muscle. Press the arms straight without locking the elbows. We're gonna do that a couple times. Let the elbows come out. Keep the pads of fingers gripping. And then press the arms straight. The elbow creases are gonna face each other a little more. And you're gonna open the elbows. Elbow tips move away from each other. Inhale. Exhale, press, contain the belly. Straighten the arms. We're gonna do it one more time. Open the elbows out. And then press, send the hips toward the heels. Toes are tucked, walk your hands forward a little bit more. Keep pressing through the first finger and thumb. Open your elbows out away from each other like you're trying to extend the elbows away from each other, out, and the elbow tips a little bit up toward the sky. And then look toward your knees. Good. Chin toward chest. Keep fanning the elbows away from each other. And then lift your belly, and you're gonna press the arms straight, come forward toward plank. Now the elbow creases are pointing a little more toward your first fingers. And then you're gonna press back toward active child's pose, toes tucked under. And those elbow creases are facing each other. So we're gonna inhale, come forward. Looking forward, looking up, and then exhale, press back. Lift the knees, come on up to downward facing dog. Let your head go. Pedal the feet a little bit. Good. Keep pressing down through that index finger. Shake the head a little bit, yes. Good. Now come forward into plank. Keep those elbows a little bit soft. The creases of the elbows are pointing a little more toward your first finger. And then softening the knees. Press the arms a little more straight as you extend the sitting bones up. Good. And inhale, we're gonna come to plank. And exhale, we're gonna soften the knees and glide the hips toward the sky. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, float to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. And then inhale, coming forward to plank. Touch your knees down. Slowly lower all the way down, coming onto your belly. As you come onto your belly, lay the feet flat. Reach your arms back around you, thumbs down. Or you could interlace, clasp the fingers if that felt good. Root through the pelvis. Inhale, everything else floats up. Lengthen through the center of the sternum, straight ahead. Spread the pinky toes toward the back wall. We have a nice engagement of the gluteals. Inhale, we expand the belly. Exhale, release your forehead to the floor. Release your feet. Take your palms under the elbows, tuck your toes, and press back to downward dog however you get there. If downward dog gets too much, you can always take a tabletop instead, or a child's pose. So we're gonna raise the heels high, onto tiptoes. Keep lifting the sitting bones as you walk forward all the way toward the top of the mat. When you get there, fold forward, feet are about hip width distance. Grab either elbow and hang in ragdoll for a moment. Let the arms dangle from the shoulder socket down through the tips of the elbows. And there's that drape from the hip creases all the way down through the tips of the elbows. And just let the body melt over the legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You can sway a little bit. Staying connected to the breath. Good, and then we're gonna drop the tail, press through the feet, gather the belly, inhale, stretch the arms forward and up. And exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, draw the belly in, swan dive fold. Bring your hands all the way down to the floor or blocks. We're gonna step the left foot back into runner's lunge. Your hands are framing the front foot, or you can always use blocks under your hands if that's feeling helpful. Get the right knee over the heel. The left inner thigh is lifting up into the body. We're gonna touch the left knee down, take the top of the left foot flat. Keep pressing through the top of your left foot, and you can climb your hands to the right thigh or stretch the arms overhead for crescent lunge. Ribs containing in, center of chest, back of skull lifting up. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, release your hands to the floor or blocks. Keep the top of that left foot flat. Start to send the hips back towards your left heel and curl your toes toward your face. And you can kind of move forward and back a couple times. Gliding through, right knee over heel, and then sliding back, curl the toes toward the face. Shoulders remain soft. You're going to do that a couple times. It's an inhale to slide through. Exhale, inner thighs scissoring up and in toward the body. One more time, sliding through. And then sliding back. Take your left block to a lower height, or you can take your hand all the way to the floor. Just swing your right hand around and swipe it toward that left hip and look to the right. The left ribs wrapping toward the midline. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee. Right knee is over the heel. Hands are going to frame that front foot on the floor or your blocks. Tuck the back toes. Lift the left thigh. We're going to step our way back to downward dog. So usually removing the blocks is the best idea. Step the right foot back. You can always come through tabletop pose instead. On your way to downward dog, shake the head a little bit. Emphasize that first finger pressing into the ground. Good. And we're going to drift forward into a plank pose. Bring your knees down. Slowly lower all the way down onto the belly. When you arrive on the belly, lay your feet flat, zip your feet together, swing your arms around, thumbs down, root through the pelvis. Inhale, lift up. Interlace the awkward finger on top if that feels good. Knuckles tracking toward the back wall. And then release your heart, palms under elbows, curl your toes under. You're going to press back through active child's pose to get to your downward dog. Right up to downward dog. A breath or two there. Good. Very good. Pedaling the feet. And then raising the heels high onto your tiptoes, bend your knees, walk forward all the way toward the top of your mat. And drop the tail on the inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, belly in, swan dive fold. Hands are coming all the way down to the floor or blocks. And we're gonna step the right foot back, opposite foot back into runner's lunge. You can always have blocks under the hands if needed. You're gonna touch your right knee down, take the top of your right foot flat, climb your hands to your left thigh, contain the ribs in, reach your arms up, lifting from the hip points all the way up through the pinky fingers. And we're inhale, looking up. Exhale, belly in, hands frame the front foot. And we're gonna move forward and back a couple times, slide the hips back, curl the left toes toward your face, and then glide forward. Create a little more back bend as you come forward. And then as you glide back, a little more rounding and across the whole back ribs. And do that a few times with your own breath. Inhale forward, light heart, exhale back, contain the belly. Whatever range of motion feels good. Good. And then as you come back toward the Ardha Hanumanasana, take a pause there with the hips moving back toward the heels a little bit. Curl the left toes toward your face. The right hand's gonna come down on the floor or a block. The left hand's gonna swing around and swipe that left hand toward the right hip. Look to the left. Feel the edge of that left heel connecting into the ground. Good. One more inhale breath. Exhale, release the left hand down. We're gonna slide the left knee forward over the heel, lift the right thigh, lift the hips up in space, and let's slide to a plank pose. Just find your bearings, lift your hips. Nice and strong, lift the belly. Bring your knees down, come back to active child, toes tucked under, chin toward chest, forehead to floor. Take a moment to rest. Try to rest the arm bones as much as you can for a moment. We still have the fingers fanned wide with a light connection of the pads of the fingers to the ground. We're gonna start to lift up the belly, lift the ribs, lift the chest, tented fingers, hoist that right foot in between your hands. The right knee is over the heel. Good. Now take your left hand forward as much as you feel you can. Take your right hand around onto your back. You can take your left fingers a little wider out to the outer edge of your mat and even plant your palm there. And you can keep your right hand where it is, or you can extend your right arm straight up toward the sky. You're reaching the fingertips toward the sky. Keep pushing through the ball of your right foot. And we're engaging through the left gluteal. Inhale. Exhale, release your right hand down. Take your hands under the shoulders, lift the left thigh, spin the left heel down. We're gonna come up toward warrior two when you're ready, finding Virabhadrasana 2. When you get there, just take a moment to straighten the front leg all the way. And then bend your right knee over the heel, gaze over the right fingertips. Take a pause. Good. The tailbone dropping straight down toward the ground. Spreading through the toes as much as you can. And just sitting nice and sturdy and strong there for a couple moments. Keep wrapping the right knee open over the toes. And then straighten the front leg on the inhale, reach the arms up, give the palms a press. Look up at the thumbs. Exhale, bend down, release the arms down. Take your right arm, take your right hand to the left shoulder, wrap your left arm around for a hug. And as you keep wrapping your right knee open, turn your torso a little bit toward the lengthwise side of your mat. Good. Yep. So your nose is kind of over the belly button there. Keep anchoring through the outside edge of the left foot, and then straighten the front leg as you inhale, release the arms out and up overhead. Give a press. Exhale through warrior two. Cartwheel that left arm up and overhead. Release your hands to frame the front foot. Swing the back heel over the toes. Touch the left knee down. Slide the right leg back. Come back to active child. Hips toward heels. Press the ground away. And then you're going to wave forward through the crown of the head. Soft elbows. Lower all the way onto your belly. Take your feet flat. Inhale, cobra pose. Or upward facing dog if that's your practice. And then lower all the way down to the earth. Forehead to floor, tuck the toes, press back toward downward facing dog or tabletop or child. If downward dog gets too intense, the breath is the gauge for you. And we're kind with the internal attitude. Good. And soft eyes, soft jaw. Good, now come forward into plank, bring your knees down, toes are tucked, come back toward active child. Let the forehead come toward the floor, whatever amount. From there, you start to lift the belly, the ribs, tented fingers, hoist that left foot between the hands. So we're gonna come into that twist on this side, left knee's about over the heel, right hand can come forward as much as you can. Then you can take your right hand a little wider, plant the palm on the ground, take your left hand around to the sacrum, swipe it right. Or you can extend that left arm straight up, reaching the fingertips toward the sky if that felt good on the shoulder. If that's too tight on the shoulder, let's take that hand back to the hip or back for this twist. We're engaging the right glute muscle. You're kind of squeezing your right butt. Inhale in the belly. Exhale, release. Hands are framing that front foot. We're gonna lift the right thigh, spin the right heel down, and go ahead and come up to your warrior two. We're gonna find that warrior two. Gazing over the left fingers. Let's straighten that left leg all the way. Just feel a little bit buoyancy in the upper body. And then bend down, warrior two, gaze over the left fingers. Just hold strong here for 2 or 3 smooth breaths. The arches of the feet are lifting into the inner ankles. Good. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up, right up alongside the ears. Exhale, bend down toward warrior two. Let the arms start to come down. You're gonna bring your left hand across toward the right shoulder, hook the right arm underneath, reach around your fingertips, coming toward the rib cages, giving a hug. And you keep that left knee wrapping open. You start to turn your chest, your belly, your face to face the lengthwise side of the mat a little more. Good. You want to keep rooting through the outside edges of the feet. And then straighten that front leg, release the arms up overhead. Inhale, look up. Exhale, back through warrior two, and you're gonna cartwheel the right arm up and over. Release your hands to frame the front foot. Swing the back heel over the toes, touch the right knee down, slide the left leg back. Take child's pose with feet flat and knees nice and wide. Settle the hips back, forehead toward floor. Take a breath or two. Breathing deeply into the back ribs. Feeling the arm bones melt into the body a little bit. Good. Good, now we're gonna look between the thumbs and sneak the body forward. Make your way all the way down onto the belly. You're gonna come down onto the belly. Root through the pelvis, point your toes toward the ceiling. Reach your arms straight back. And as you point your toes toward the ceiling and reach your arms back, you may be able to catch the outside ankles or feet, don't force. Dandasana. Or again, you can just keep reaching the fingertips toward the outer ankles and breathing. Good. Breathe enough that you feel the belly press out into the ground. Center of the chest lengthen straight ahead. One more inhale breath. When you exhale, without slingshotting, release down. Take your forehead to the floor. Slip your palms onto the ground. Tuck your toes. Glide up to downward dog in your own time. You can always come through your child's pose if needed. We meet in downward dog. Shake the head out. Good. We're gonna take the feet a little closer together. Swing the right heel high for three-legged dog. Right heel lifts any amount. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, lift your belly, hoist your right foot in between your hands. You may need to manually help get it there. Right knee is over the heel. We're gonna spin the left heel down. The left toes are pointing toward the front of your mat quite a bit. You can always have blocks under your hands at the highest height if the hands aren't easily touching the floor. We're gonna press the right leg all the way straight. Just find your bearings with the four corners of both feet connecting to the ground. Your right hand can be on the floor or a block. You're gonna wrap this right belly and rib toward the left belly, and your left hand's on the rib, or extend your left arm up toward Trikonasana, triangle pose. Good. The feet are connecting to the ground strongly. There's a little whisper bend in both knees. You're able to breathe. We're gonna take one more inhale. Exhale, release your left hand down. Now you can turn your left toes to point forward even a little bit more, spinning that left heel out, and then start to fold into Konasana. Bringing your forehead toward that right shin, and you can have your hands on the blocks, or the blocks can be a lower setting. And you can optionally swing your right hand around and rest it right on the sacrum, like the right hand is a little bit of a weight, and you can traction the back of that right hand toward the tail as the very tip of the tail drops a little bit toward the earth. Forehead melting toward the right shin, Konasana. Breathing. Good, and then look toward your right foot. If your right hand's on the back, go ahead and bring it toward the ground and start to walk your hands toward that left lengthwise side of the mat. We're gonna turn the right toes in, the right heel out, and walk your hands in between your feet, and come on up to tented fingers when you get there. So you're coming to lift up your chest. Good, yep. And then your hand is gonna come under your face. and your left hand's gonna swing around onto the back. You're looking to the left. Just doing a lot of gentle twisting today and rotating of the spine. You're breathing in the belly here. Shifting into the heels a little more. Inhale, exhale, release your left hand down, and very gradually you can start to come into a forward fold, walking your hands in between the feet, in between the heels, and gradually allowing the crown of head to spill toward the ground, whatever amount. Good. Yeah. Tune into the breath. Yeah. Feel the feet on the ground, the arches of the feet lifting. And if you're in the fold, we're going to lift the belly and the ribs, come up back to the fingers, look toward your right foot, start to walk your hands toward your right foot, turn your right toes to point straight forward, swing the left heel over the toes, drop the left knee down underneath your hip. You're going to extend your right leg back with the toes tucked under, and then rock forward and back. Just releasing. We're releasing in that right low back and belly. And then you're going to keep your right hand on the earth where it is. Take your left hand onto the back, look to the left. Possibly look up toward the sky a little bit. Inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to thread that left arm underneath and lay from the back of your hand to the edge of the shoulder. Now you can keep your right leg extended, or if that feels really unbalanced, you can always bring that right knee back to the ground. And your right hand can stay on the ground, or you can extend your right arm up alongside the ear like a child's pose arm. Just be able to breathe and stay for a moment, feeling the connection of the back of the left hand into the ground. And you're breathing in that twist. Easy eyes, soft jaw. And then the right hand's going to be onto the floor, about under the elbow. You're going to press through that right hand, start to unwind, come back to a tabletop. Bring your right knee toward your nose, point the toes around your spine. Spine to full exhale. And then release your right knee down. Bring the knees together, tuck the toes, walk your hands back. You're going to come to sit on the heels. Now, if it's too much, you can always sit on a block, or you can come up to stand on the knees. You don't have to force. If it's available, we start to sit down toward the heels. Rest the hands on tops of the thighs. Relax the shoulders. In fact, what can be helpful sometimes is to let the elbows kind of wag in and out, in and out. And then drift the arms up. Interlace the non-habitual finger. Push the palms toward the sky, get nice and long. Squeeze the biceps toward the ears a little bit. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, gather the belly, slowly come forward into tabletop. Untuck the toes, tap the feet. And then we're going to round the spine. Look toward your tail. Look toward your tail. Inhale, fill the back ribs. Exhale, coming to neutral. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Curl the toes underneath. Find your way up toward downward dog. We're going to do the whole sequence on the other side with the triangle pose. So we're going to take the feet a little closer together. Swing the left heel high for three-legged dog. Find your inhale breath. And then exhale, knee to nose, lift the hips, hoist that left foot in between the hands. May need to manually help it. You can always use those two blocks under the hands there. We're going to spin the right heel down. If the right heel isn't all the way on the floor, shorten your stance a little bit if you need to, so you feel that both feet are really anchored into the earth. And then you start to press your left leg straight. The left sitting bone is moving straight back toward the back of the room. The feet are very equally weighted. We start to wrap the left belly and rib toward the right belly, and the right hand can be on the back, or if it feels all right, extend the right fingertips straight up. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Good. Ribs contained in. You can keep your nose in alignment with the belly button, or if your neck hurts, you can even look down. For a little more challenge, you could look up at the hand in the air. Good. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, look down, slowly release your right hand onto the floor or your block, and then you can turn your right toes forward even a little bit more, turning the right heel out. Fold forward. Making your way into Palmut Katasana, using your blocks, or eventually hands coming onto the floor. Option to swing the left hand around and rest the back of your left hand on the sacrum like a little gentle weight. And a slight turn of the gaze to the left. Breathing. One more inhale. Exhale, release. And then you're going to start to come into your wide-legged stance. Turn your left toes in, your left heel out. You can keep your chest upright a little bit more. So you have more of a tabletop spine, more of a length through the crown of the head. And take your left hand under your face. And swing your right hand around onto your lower back and gaze to the right. Little twist. You're breathing. Very good. We're finding one more full inhale. Exhale, release. Now as you come back to center, we're going to bend the knees. Take your hands to your hips. Instead of the fold, we're going to heavy the tail and come all the way up to stand. Yeah. Now turn your toes out and your heels in. Bend down, come toward goddess squat. Whatever amount. Hands can come to heart center. Just feeling nice and strong. Good. Tip of the tail dropping down. Now, as you inhale, straighten the legs, reach up, keep the palms pressing. And exhale, bend down, hands to heart center. Now flip the pinkies down toward the ground, point the fingers down, squat a little more. We're gonna do that through that whole front channel. Inhale, palms pressing, reach up. And then exhale, bend down. Point the prayer hands down, squat down a little more. Good, inhale, extending up. And exhale down. Point down, hold. And then bring the hands to heart center, straighten the legs all the way. Keep the thumbs connecting to the center of the chest, and you're going to turn your right toes toward the front of your mat. You're going to turn both sets of toes toward the front of your mat, your hips, your belly, your heart, facing the front of your mat. Press through that front foot, step forward toward Dandasana. Bring your thumbs and press them into the center of the eyebrows. Give the thumbs a little press and imagine that as those thumbs plug in, the whole brain kind of lights up with a light, a color. And as you press the thumbs into that center brow, create a little more upper back bend, squeeze your elbows in. Forehead to thumbs, thumbs to forehead. Inhale. And then exhale, soften the knees. We're going to slowly start to fold and swing your arms around behind you. As you fold, you can just clasp a hand behind your back or interlace the fingers, let the arms come away, ring out. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, let it out your mouth. Good. Yep. Slowly, slowly release your hands down to the ground. And we're going to step back into a tabletop position. And we're going to extend the left leg back. Toes tucked under. Rock forward and back. Rock forward and back. Good. Let's see if I can get my right and left right here. We're going to do this opposite twist. The left hand's going to come underneath. Right? Which one was it, Jackie? If my left foot's back, my right arm is going to come underneath. Yep. And then the back of your hands resting and your left hand swings around either onto your back, or you keep your left hand on the ground and inch it forward toward a child's pose arm. So I'm just trying to get that opposite rotation here that we did on the other side. You can keep that leg extended, or you can take that version where you have tabletop legs with knees bent. And you're resting the back of the extended palm into the ground, breathing. Breathing. belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. You can remember your intention, your mind's eye. Good, and then left hand's gonna be on the ground to help support you, and you're gonna start to unwind and come into a tabletop position. Bring your big toes to touch. Knees are separated a little bit. We're gonna come up onto the knees, shake your hands off. Inhale, reach the arms up, give the palms a press. Reach up through the fingertips. You can create a little more back bend as you look up at the thumbs, and exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Release the arms down. We're gonna swing the ankles underneath, come on to the base of the seat and extend the legs out straight, coming into Dandasana, staff pose. Good, so the legs are extended. You can kind of drag one sitting bone at a time back so you feel rooted. Glide the right heel toward the sitting bone. You can just sit here, if that feels good, or you're gonna come into dragging this right sitting bone back, wrapping your left arm around. Take your right hand back behind you for Marichasana C. That right sitting bone's carving toward the ground. You're looking over the right shoulder for this seated spinal twist. Your left foot is flexed. Let's tune into the breath. Can we let the shoulders dissolve a little more? Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Take your right arm on the inside of the right knee, and your right hand can reach toward the left toes. Yep. Or you can reach it forward a little more, and you can rotate that right thumb down and slide the back of that hand around toward the outer right hip, and then left finger's back behind you. If you can't get that bind, that's fine. You might be able to reach back and bind your left hand to your right fingers. Don't force. You could have your left hand on the ground. You could have your right hand just touching the left leg or toes anywhere. And a little counter twist. We look over the left shoulder. Take one more inhale. Exhale with control. We're going to release. And then take the hands back behind you and let that right knee fall open. And then slide the right leg out straight. Wag the toes in and out, in and out. We're going to do the other side. Zip the feet together. Sit up nice and tall. Slide the left heel in. Good. It feels good. You're going to turn. You're going to drag your left sitting bone back. Wrap your right arm around. Left finger's back behind you. Look over your left shoulder. Marichasana C. And just tune into the space of the breath in the belly. Good. And then unwinding back to center. You can take your left arm on the inside of the knee. You can kind of lean forward a little bit, reaching forward. The left hand can either touch the foot or the ankle, or you rotate, left thumb down, and you rotate quite a bit through that arm bone, the upper arm bone. Bend the elbow and take the back of the hand into a bind. Don't force. Right hand touches the ground behind you, or you may be able to clasp the fingers and look to the right. Breathing. If it's not available to do the bind, just have your left hand rest anywhere on the right leg and your right hand back behind you. So there's this open belly twisting. We're going to take one more inhale and exhale, come back to center. Hands are going to come back behind you. Let that left knee fall open gently, and then slide the left leg out. Take your heels a little wider, wag the toes, wag the toes. The heels are a little bit wider, so it's a little short V. You're just going to reach forward toward the front of the room. Reach forward, and then inhale, reach up, and then exhale, start to slowly lower down. With control, make your way gradually down. Come on to your back. Once you're on the back, reach the arms overhead. Take a nice full inhale in the belly. Exhale, let it out your mouth. Good. Let the floor cradle the back body. We're gonna do a little bit of lower back release. Keep that left leg heavy and start to slide the right knee in toward your body for Palmut Katasana. Give the right thigh a squeeze toward the body. Hug your right knee in. Hands are in front of the right shin. So we're gonna do a little squeezing of that right thigh toward. Hands are on the shin or in the knee crease. Good. And holding for a moment. If it's too intense, you can always have your left foot on the ground. Play with some engagement in that left gluteal muscle. Can help to even out the hips and release the left lower back. And then extend the right sole of the foot toward the sky, hands behind the thigh bone or the calf or the ankle, as long as you're able to stay rested in the back ribs. Again, you could have your left foot on the ground if that feels easier. Point and flex a few times through that right foot. Opening up the calf. Good. And then slowly release, and you can step your right foot onto the ground. And using that press of the right foot, glide the left knee in toward the body. And if it feels okay, slide the right leg out. Give a little squeeze. Palmut Katasana. It's really encouraging that flow of the breath through that left belly and hip. And when you feel complete with that, extend the left sole of the foot toward the sky. Hands are behind the thigh bone or the calf. You point and flex a few times. Play with squeezing, engaging through the right gluteal a little bit, and see how it might lift the right hip point and create more symmetry in the belly. Good. And then slowly bending and stepping that left foot on the ground. Pressing through the left foot, step your right foot on the ground. Open your arms out to a T or to cactus and take the feet mat with distance apart and let the knees knock in to touch. Constructive rest pose. You can lightly connect the first fingers and thumbs together. Take a body scan and all the areas of the back body that melt into the ground. We allow that dissolving. As the knees come in toward each other and rest in, we soften from the knee down to the pelvic floor. We soften in the belly. Let the flow of the breath move into the belly. And let the exhale disperse any tension out through the body, out through the fingers and toes. Let your head start to roll from side to side very slowly and feel the tops of the feet spreading into the outer edges of the feet. And you can start to initiate some windshield wipering of the feet by pressing through the outside edge of the foot to bring the knees over, and then bringing the knees back to center. And as you windshield wiper, just tune in a little bit more to the feet connecting to the ground and how that trickles up into the knees and into the pelvis, up along the spine, up into the base of the skull, and a lot of light across the brow line. Very good. Okay, and as the knees come back to center, give yourself a little nourishing squeeze, give a hug. Kindness, tenderness toward yourself, from yourself, toward yourself. And we're gonna take a final full happy baby to even out your back, elbows on insides of knees, hands are on the feet or ankles. Soles of feet face the sky. Good. And then let the feet float up toward the ceiling. Take a little inversion. If you had a block handy, you could put a block underneath your lower back and take a supported shoulder stand variation with the lowest setting of the block under your lower back. It's just an option. or just let the back be on the ground. Let the legs float up. Keeping a little bit here with the digestive support theme. All the twisting, kind of moving around and trying to shift any stuck energy in the belly. And now all this flow from the legs moving down, nourishing in the bowl of the pelvis. Ankles, knees, and hips all kind of even with each other. Minimal effort in the joints of the legs, the toes, the ankles, the knees, the hips. Soft as you can get. Throat soft. Good. So you can hang out there for a while. You can hang out there as long as you like. It's usually nice to stay for at least a minute, 2 minutes. Very, very slowly, when you feel ready, you either bend both knees at once or one knee at a time, very slowly and thoughtfully replace the feet back onto the ground. If you did have a block, you could remove it out. And we're gonna let the legs slide out straight and long on the ground. Let them relax. Lift your chin up a little bit just to have a little bit of opening in the front of the throat. So you kind of make more space between the bottom of the chin and the sternum. And then you let the chin level out. And you settle into your restorative Shavasana for today. You can always feel free to do any final movements that your body might be calling for. Clothing, socks, blankets, get very comfortable so you can stay and settle into your Shavasana, feeling very comfortable and supported. As you rest, imagine this nice alignment or flow from crown to tail, from tail to crown, the center of the brows, the center of the throat, the center of the chest, center of the ribs, center of the belly, all in this kind of flowing line of space. Let the body relaxing. Take a body scan. You don't have to try to make anything happen. You can always return to observing the breath if your mind wanders off. Sharing a poem from Hafiz today. Nothing like a yesterday. When was the last time you felt complete? So complete, nothing dared approach you. Nothing like a yesterday or a tomorrow, nothing that could speak, nothing that could ever point to something that would ever need to be done. Nothing that could not do anything but adore you, adore you, adore. Let's come into a gratitude practice for today. Anything you have to list inside your mind that you're grateful for. Cultivating inside your mind what you want to invite there right now. Coming back to your breath, the space of the breath, the light of the breath, ever present. Your awareness flowing from the mind into the heart and all the way out into all the cells, fingers and toes. We wiggle gently and eventually stretching the arms overhead. Let's find a reset. And take your time to very slowly roll over to the left-hand side. That's the cooling side, encouraging that digestive flow down to that left low belly. We settle. Let the left rib rest. Let the heart rest. Remember your intention, holding it dearly, honoring the effort you put in today to practice, celebrating the wholeness of right now. When you feel ready in your own time, gradually press your way on up. Make our way up to sit together. You can cross the non-habitual ankle on top. Just nice practice to balance out your hips. I'm going to bring the hands to heart center, pressing the palms lightly. Inhale, extend the fingertips overhead. You can look up at the thumbs, and then exhale, bring the hands down through heart center, bringing the thumbs to the center of the chest. Let's honor each other in this practice and all of our intentions by connecting with the chant of a single Om on the exhale. Oh. Wishing you peace right now and on the journey. Namaste. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in person. Nice to see you guys in person. Nice to see you virtual. Jacinta and Michael, the dream team, Richard, Amy Jean, Tanya, Megan, Leah, Rosie, Marianne. Tanya's got a writing series on Saturday that she's doing virtually for all you writers out there. Mindful movement, writing, all the Tanya things. Virtually on Saturday. It's a 6-week series. It's on the website if you're interested. Talked you into it. Nice. Nice. Awesome. Good for you, Neil. Bye. Have a good day. Yeah.